There is a disturbing amount of Hagrid and Hedwig pairing fanfiction on fanfiction.net.
We're the Harry Potter Alliance.
I saw that on Tumblr and I thought they were joking, but they weren't. You guys may recognize me, or you may just think I look familiar. My sister does the Wednesday vlog, that's right. You've seen me. Think Seriously Black Friday sale vlog. As you can see, I am also not Lauren. Takia talked to you about all sorts of awesome stuff, like how the HPA works. I'm not going to do that. No. As the chapters director of the Harry Potter Alliance, I could tell you about how awesome chapters are, or how they act as the real-world Dumbledore's army, and are doing awesome things in their communities every single day. I could tell you about all that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to talk about fanfiction. I first found fanfiction, or started reading fanfiction, during my first year of college, which was about 4 years ago. Yeah, so I think it's a pretty interesting form of entertainment. I mean, I write it, I read it, I'm really into it, clearly. But I think that through fanfiction, people get to live in the world that was created for them by somebody else, and they get to live in it a little while longer. I personally love writing Lily and James fanfiction because I think that's a really great untold story. But right now, my current fanfiction obsession is Merlin and Arthur. I don't think that Merlin and Arthur are gay on the show. I'm gonna just throw that out there. But almost all fanfiction for Merlin and Arthur is slash. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us a lot, actually. I think that Merlin and Arthur have a really strong relationship. In case you didn't know what I was talking about, it's the show Merlin. It's run by BBC, and it's a fantastic show. But Merlin and Arthur on it have a very strong relationship, and I think that because we're often so fixated with romantic love in our generation that it makes it harder for us to really conceptualize strong platonic relationships, or platonic love that is stronger oftentimes than romantic love. And so I think that's where a lot of slash fanfiction comes from. But I do think it's a really interesting way to conceptualize relationships. I think that's the same thing that happens with Sirius and Remus. So where do we end up with all of that? Well, like I said, it's about living in a world that makes you really happy. It's about being part of a story that is ongoing and amazing and incredibly clever. And at the end of the day, it's really whatever you want to make of it. But mostly, what I think about fanfiction goes a little bit something like this. This is an excerpt from an article from Time magazine written by Lev Grossman on fanfiction and Harry Potter. It was published on July 7th, 2011. Maltese is a writer of fanfiction, stories and novels that make use of the characters and settings from other people's professional creative work. Fanfiction is what literature might look like if it were reinvented from scratch after a nuclear apocalypse by a band of brilliant, pop culture junkies trapped in a sealed bunker. They don't do it for money. That's not what it's about. The writers write it and put it up online just for the satisfaction. They're fans, but they're not silent, couch-bound consumers of media. The culture talks to them, and they talk back to the culture in its own language.